know you was talking a little bit about Xavier Worthy, and
yeah, I mean, I gotta say, I was kind of making kind of commentary on when we drafted him, because I remember we did a post draft show that night we drafted him, and I remember all the talk, right? You had people who were really excited about getting the fast guy, but then you had the negatives, right? You had people like, well, another small guy's gonna get hurt all the time, and it was like, okay, all right, and then we do a little more research, right? Guy played with a broken hand in Texas during one season, and he had a really good season, and then this week, right, separated shoulder, people were saying, oh, it could be out for the season. 2 to 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. I heard everything. Then today, he gets practice last 2 days, limited, but practice. And a lot of people said it couldn't be done. He wasn't going to do that. And I think it's something that, like, people sometimes will judge a book by its cover. And this is generally not just football, it's just anything. Just because a guy's 5'10", 170, a drink of water, it's like, oh, man, he's soft. You get labeled as that. No, not every guy who's 5'10", 170 is going to be a soft player. And none of these guys are soft anyway, regardless of guy's injury prone or not. But he was injury prone. He came in, played all season last year, comes in, hurts his shoulder in the third play of the game, and all week you see him on Instagram, free one this. He wants to play. I mean, the guy wants to play. Out there with padding over his shoulder, catching balls today and yesterday. Actually, I don't think he had as much padding on his shoulder today. But nonetheless, it's like, for all those people who thought we drafted this soft dude, think again, man, because Xavier Worthy's not a soft dude at all. And I hope he gained a lot of respect for people in Chiefs Kingdom who thought we drafted this soft guy. I hope if he thought that, it's like, well, this guy's the real deal. 5 days after a separated shoulder, the guy's out there practicing and not even ruled out for this game. Doubtful, but not out. So, like, he could still play. I mean, probably not. He won't play as a doubt, but, like, there's still a possibility. But the fact they didn't rule him out, I mean, that's nuts. It tells you how tough this dude is.
And I know he's probably pushed for all of it. He's like, yeah, man, let me see what it feels like. See if I can catch it. If there's, a little discomfort, let me make it let me determine it. And I know they're with him every step of the way to figure out, like, if this is something that's doable. But also, too, I think what you have to do with the Chiefs, the Chiefs had to do with the Eagles, is you got to put in their head that this guy could actually play. And so what do you do when you're trying to defend the Chiefs? Do you put Xavier Worthy in as a guy that you have to look after? Or, are you staying like, hey, look, he may play, he may not play. So there's a lot of uncertainty there that you got to play, right? That is part of that gamesmanship that you have to do. And good, leave it at the ambiguity out there. You should. They don't need to know everything, right? So, sure, we'll let it. Hey, we'll see. We'll see what's going to turn into. But like you said, just the simple fact that he's a tough guy who even thought about coming out here to even play says a lot about who he is and what he's made of. Okay, so you could call it that. I think I said the other day that Travis hits him, and he's 170 pounds with weights in his pocket, soaking wet. Hey, but he's a tough son of a gun. He's a tough son of a gun. So what did optimistic James said? Trav said he came lazy off the line. Number one, was trying to adjust, and that was his fault. I knew if you could see the one trying to get back, according to Travis, adjust his route. So the mesh concept, the shallow cross concept is still the same. There's no difference in that. And so, like I said, when Travis did come off, he kind of shook him because he knew, like, I got to get up. When Travis is supposed to go up more, the linebacker pushes him, right? I said that. It pushes him kind of down. So which helped hurt his, his depth of the route. But also, too, you see Worthy, he's running, and he's the one that sets the depth of the route. So even if he wants to run 1, 2, 4, or 5, Worthy's got to run to get open. Worthy's got to run to set it up for Trav, to go ahead and run the pick route. It's a pick route. So, and Trav, took it on his shoulders. I wouldn't say it was all Trav, but that, both those guys. I said two things happened. X getting up, trying to angle back down. Trav getting pushed by the linebacker. Collision. That's how the things happen, man. That's how things happen. And really with that, there's, you got to play within the confounds of what you do. Somebody's like, well, Trav changes his route all the time. But yeah, but there's also a concept that you got to stick with. There is. There's the reason that you run routes the particular way. And so this route was made so Xavier Worthy gets open on man. Okay, if X doesn't get it, then Trav, he comes off of that pick route and say, man, I'm one-on-one. He catches the football. But, it didn't work out the way that it should have. Okay, and this is where we at. But with that being said, the way everything turned out for Xavier Worthy, man, I'm very hopeful for a return very soon.
Dodged a bullet there with Xavier Worthy big time.
Yeah, sure did.
I mean, the fact that he's doubtful probably means, obviously we think it's gamesmanship. Probably not going to play this week, but probably means likely to play week 3 at least. The fact that he was doubtful in practicing the last 2 days. So yeah, tough again.
Yeah, he just got to get used to the harness and all those different things too. The padding, all how to feel, is it comfortable? Once it gets into that comfort level and knowing maybe taking a hit and how he feels, will take him a little time, but this is good for him to even get out there for practice. Marcus, daggone, come on,
man. And, all these Twitter doctors saying that he was going to be done for the year. So that's why we don't listen to the Twitter doctors, guys.
Who said that?
Well, I remember right after the injury, there were so many like these guys who were sharing like all these like these guys with the MD next to their name on Twitter. It's like, oh yeah, it's definitely this. Probably go over 6 to 8 weeks at least. And it's like, okay, relax here. Let's wait. Let's let me get the X-ray. Let's get the MRI. Let's get all these things going on here. I get it. Sometimes people want to see, it's asking ChatGPT or WebMD. What is this? What does this mean when I have this injury? You look for that stuff, and you have these Twitter docs going on there and like giving like reports on like, oh yeah, with this kind of injury, easily 8 to 10 weeks, that kind of thing. So,
what is that I heard Denzel say? He said it's not about being right; it's about being first.
Yeah,
coming out. That's what drives traffic your way. Let me be first to say this as opposed to being right. I seen Gronk. They was talking about Gronk getting up there and saying something about all these guys are bickering, and I'm like, Gronk, you ain't ever had a fight with Tom, and you never said anything? Really?
Brady gets to yelling matches with Josh McDaniels on the sideline every game.
Huh?
Brady would get to arguments with Josh McDaniels every game.
All the time. To the point you look like they were going to swing on each other. They were trying to get all those fired. They were trying to get each other fired, it seemed like. But then then they made up. But that's the process of like trying to get to a place of understanding. This is what it means to be a championship team. And Gronk should know this because he's watching, a team that's accomplishing some of the things that they've accomplished, and even more, if you will. And so he should know the mindset. He should understand some of these things, right? So Gronk ain't smart enough to even have a fight. Couldn't think of a comeback. I think, man, he had to say something. And I think that's where he went to. So that drives views, right? That whole, it drives viewership up.
Uh-huh.
So,
but it's funny. It's between Brady and Gronk is interesting, right? I feel like this isn't the first time I've seen Gronk make comments about the Chiefs, like, saying negative stuff about the Chiefs. Whereas Brady, on the other hand, he's overly complimentary. And this is a guy who, people say, Mahomes is competing for Brady's legacy and all that stuff. And like, this guy's really embraced Mahomes. He sees him as he's talking about how he's so similar to him. He says he sees a lot of himself in Mahomes. And he's also part owner of the Raiders too. So it's like, for all those reasons, he could be a bitter, former player, but he's not. He's embraced Mahomes fully. And like, that's the way he was on Colin Cowherd's show talking about, he loves what he saw from Josh Simmons, the offensive line. And he says, once those guys get together, you're going to see this team, look like the team from a couple of years ago as far as offensive scoring wise. So like, it's interesting to see the difference between Gronk and Brady when they talk about the Chiefs.
Well, Marcus, he sees a lot of himself in Patrick Mahomes. He sees that. And so I think it's why he's able to really relate to how this team goes, because he understands it all has to run through Patrick Mahomes. And what Patrick Mahomes is trying to do, he's trying to wheel his guys to win. He's trying to do everything possible to win and putting guys in the right position. And he's seen it. When you talk about games, to one touchdown and 1 point score games. And we had a record right there, 17 in a row until they got broken. That's what it was. And so Tom sees that. He's like, man, this kid right here, he's got it. He's got that in him. What I recognized I had in me and what I was fighting so hard to be. He has that. And he's talked to him. He's listened to him in interviews, and you can see the greatness in it. It's not there to be diminished by no means. If anything, it should be celebrated. So everybody, the Chiefs have done this and that, blah, blah, blah. Tom Brady's like, man, they still got Patrick Mahomes. They still got a me over there. And like me, I know, regardless of what y'all say out here, this guy that's throwing the football, who is the leader of this group, you still got a shot and you got a chance to win this game. Tom Brady believes in him. He believes in that. So,
hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.